A look back. Let's take a look back to a time when things were simple, when you were young, eating candy and popping pimples. When young boys innocently smiled at you with deep dimples and young ladies had self respect for their temples. Remember getting dropped off at the show at Evergreen Plaza or buying Chico sticks that got stuck in your teeth like molasses? How about when at school eating your lunch in your classes and lining up on the wall so you wouldn't have to beg for restroom passes? These memories from the 80s will have you laughing. So here's a look back when talking too much was just blabbing. Now let's first explore the 1980s fashion. Who came up with the ruffles on the blue jean jacket, shoulder pads so wide you had to move backwards and sideways, sweaters tucked into jeans, and the hats that mom made? The 80s when hand-me-downs were a thing and no big deal, when shopping at Sears and Woolworth were cool, when your outside shoes weren't the same as your church shoes, when talking about puffy pants and cut off shirts with neon letters written in cursive, when staying out past the street lights wasn't worth it, when kickball was played in the middle of the street, and how we would pause the game when a car we would see, or on hot summer days when we would turn the fire hydrant on, running through the water until the fire department would come. Water pressure low as ever when it was time to go in. But the next day, we were back at it again. Remember click clacks and big barrettes, beepers, and quick comebacks? The drama ministry in all its glory and gospel theater. In the 80s, the beginning of its story. What was on television shaped us all. From What's Happening Now to Different Strokes, the A-Team, Dallas, Saturday morning cartoons, and that's all, folks. Dukes of Hazzard, Miami Vice, Alf, and The Facts of Life. Three's Company was a trip, and Dynasty was bougie. TJ Hooker was the man, while V was about aliens. Fraggle Rock was for the kids. Married with Children with Peg would have you doubled over, while Nell Carter set the record straight on Gimme a Break. When it was time for bed, to mom we would plead our case. Let's take a look back from where you've been, the obstacles you've overcome, the lives you've lived. For you will never know where you're going unless you know where you've been. Never know about God's changing hand until you've experienced situations that you were stuck in. The 80s was a throwback for moments to reflect. Don't think I forgot. Let's look at the music next. I'm Not Your Superwoman by Karen White was the anthem for women when we wanted to fight. Whitney Houston and Luther, and Madonna too, while Kiss was an 80s popular rock group. The Family Cookouts with Frankie Beverly and Mays blasting. When Stephanie Mills was singing Home and Anita Baker was caught up in the rapture. These times jog pleasant memories, and that's all I'm after. Remember high ponytails and French rolls that shine? The 80s when 10 pieces of candy would only cost a dime. When kids had to share everything because what's yours is mine. When Miss Pac-Man was the score to beat and Dr. Mario too. When joysticks were heavy and arcades were for the youth. This is a time to enjoy living like back then with class. From 80s themed virtual parties for the Liberty staff. Thank you for your faithfulness and how you've served the ministry. Let's go into the next year with the same 1980s synergy.